Thank you, Madam Chair. Before I get to my questions, let me just share with my colleagues in the committee and the witnesses in front of us just one of many examples. The exchange I just witnessed fails to point to any partisan language in the directives that were referenced. If anything, I'll call your attention to the National Voter Registration Act, which was passed on an overwhelming bipartisan basis in 1993. And before we get to the substance of the act, just find under Section 2, findings and purposes, findings that Congress, again on a bipartisan basis, finds that, one, the right of citizens of the United States to vote is a fundamental right. Number two, it is the duty of the federal, state, and local governments to promote the exercise of that right. And it goes on from there. So for anybody looking for where in statute we might find the opening for the federal government, not on a partisan basis, on a nonpartisan basis, to encourage, actually accept a role and responsibility in encouraging citizens of the United States to exercise their fundamental right to vote. Here's one example. Moving on. I know we can and should have longer-term conversations about modernizing elections and what y'all need to continue to protect the integrity of the bedrock of our democracy. I know that threats to election workers and poll workers has already been covered in this hearing, but recognizing that, look, we're well deep into the primary season of 2024, November's on the horizon. Let's talk about some practical here and now things that can and should be done. Just two examples from my home state. At the county level, Santa Clara County, one of the larger counties in my state, hosts an annual media day. Every election has a media day to help inform voters and, the press, and by extension the public of the voting process. The more understanding there is, the more we can follow the news and maintain faith and confidence in the process. Post-primary, they're now doing the vote counting because it takes a while in California because of the high levels of participation. Statewide, California has implemented a ballot tracking system where people can sign up to receive text messages, email messages in multiple languages, by the way, on the status of their ballot on the way to the voter, on the way back to the county, when it's processed, when it's been counted. Questions for Mr. Kramer. What systems are in place for state and local officials to learn what either federal resources or university resources are available to them, and maybe even a sharing of information systems to share these best practices?
Thank you for the question, Senator. The great honor we have in Charleston County is election sharing with our state partners. We hold a state conference every year, but one thing I'm proud of is we're launching the Voter Ambassador Program in Charleston County, and we are the trusted election information source. And we're going to empower other organizations within Charleston County to be our ambassadors under strict guidelines, but it helps give that official information. So when we do a program like that, we have to be able to share that with other counties and states. The EAC has a great clearinghouse program that we are now being able to tap into, and that is a resource sharing where we can ask questions. What are you doing to be effective in election administration? And it's a tool that I actually applaud the EAC for introducing, and it helps election officials.
Wonderful, thank you. Now, on a very specific topic, recently the Department of Education clarified rules around the federal work-study program, making it clear that, yes, it is legal for students on work-study jobs to work in election offices. I actually encouraged the department to make this clarification last October because somehow it was a question in the minds of some, and I'm glad it happened. I think it's a terrific way to bring dedicated younger Americans into elections offices to see their democracy up close and personal. And imagine being inspired to pursue a career in that area, but in the short term, possibly help alleviate some staffing concerns. Question for Mr. Kramer. You've previously had high school and college-age poll workers and election workers, correct? How have they performed?
They are amazing, and they bring a fresh breath of air to the polling places. Our lead poll workers love when they see high school students and college students participating. And one of the things we see is then they continue serving after they've done it once. And that's the remarkable thing about bringing young kids into the process. And then in South Carolina, you can serve as young as 16. And they get really conflict resolution. They're able to do team building. So this is a really great resume builder, and I look forward to actually working with the College of Charleston. We have the EAC grant money that we're going to introduce some programming through that, so we're excited.
Secretary Benson, is this something you can adopt or expand on in Michigan?
Well, Senator Padilla, you know we're already doing this in Michigan.
Softball. It's called the softball.
But yes, I mean, I'm grateful for my colleague in South Carolina for his leadership, but truly partnerships and make democracy work, and it's a team sport. So, and we welcome, people of all backgrounds, left, right, and in the middle of serving as election workers. It's a great way to see just how secure our system is.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.